Journey.
Alright, so today I want to discuss a few things when it comes to making horror maps. And so what I'm going to start with is pretty much just the way it looks. So you want to make sure that you have detail everywhere that the player can see, whether or not it's pristine, you want detail. So we're going to start off with that. So one part of detail is not necessarily just how it looks, but how it functions, so the functionality of it. So as you can see, it starts where I come in to some gravel. So this is halfway through the map, but you would come in a boat, and then you would stop in this gravel. And as you can see, there's, this right here. So a player can just walk in most maps, just go start swimming. So what you want is you don't want that. You want your player to strictly stay to what your map is about. You want them to focus and pretty much just play the game like you would play a normal horror game. So what I added was, I added a little ramp so you can come straight up here, so you don't have to worry about jumping up here. And then I made it so your player can't necessarily just, go all that he wants and go wander. And now, yes, he can walk right here, whatever. But yeah, you want a little bit of flexibility so your player doesn't have to follow an exact line, just pretty much an invisibility cutscene, So you want to make it so your player is not just jumping around and swimming around. Now, can the player go through here and swim? Absolutely. He can swim directly towards the opposite end of the map, and that is fine because that is also blocked off, so he can only go to a certain extent. Where I also have it cut off, which I can show you in another part, where the player can't go back from where he came. And you'll see that I do that a few times throughout this map as I continue to post about it. But yeah, so pretty much your player can't go running along just aimlessly throughout the map. That's a big part you want. And then on top of that, you want the game, like I said, to look good. You want it to look as realistic as possible. Now, of course, this, arcade mode, you can't make it look 100% pristine. You're going to have a little bit of, mess ups here and there, but it's going to look a little janky sometimes, but you can't really do anything about it. So you just have to focus on what you got. So as you can see, again, I'm showing you the player cannot just wander onto these rocks and climb and climb and climb all they want. I have it strictly so they have to play the game how I want it to be played. So here I have it also so they can't just jump over this tree, because if they're able to jump over that tree, next thing you know, boom, they find ways around it, or just, comes out janky. You want to make sure you're adding decals, and you're adding grass, and you're adding as much realism as you can without destroying the game, and that's going to be a very big part of it, and you'll see more as I progress throughout this video, and you'll see even parts of my map tend to look better as I progress in uploading parts about this video. So as you can see, you go into here, and then I have a trigger. So the moment you go into here, boom, shadow, and then you walk forward. Now a big part is having the music. So you want music that will match in with it, right? So what I did was I made it so the music is only played for enough time for you to be able to get a gist of how you want it to affect the player. So this one, you're going to feel the adrenaline. First, you're going to feel that fear, that spike, and the next thing you know, as it dims down, you're going to feel that adrenaline. And that is from, currently in horror, I am using the ghost town, so that's just the basic ambient noise. But if you want to know exactly which sound music theme I'm using for that, is I'm adding a music theme that is going to be Far Cry Primal, and then I delay it for about 15 seconds. So it plays for 15 seconds, and then I change it to no music. And that gives it just enough time to get that heart pumping without causing you to feel like it's overplayed or that it cuts at a wrong period. So 15 seconds is absolutely perfect. That's what I would recommend. So I'm going to go back in the game. As you can see, I have all this invisibility walls. I have birds to add more effect to it. But we're going to go back to the game real quick. Let's see. So as you can see, the fog adds, and then I have not necessarily a cutscene, but similar.
Journey.
Mostly just an event that happens for the player to feel a spike. I'm going to let it play. So as you can see, I caused it to give the player the effect that it's just a mysterious person just running crazy, gave him a rush point, and then all I delayed it to was about, I believe, 6 seconds. We'll go back on that and check, but I also want you to see how, again, adding all those walls, player can't just hop onto anything as they please. That can be fixed, that can be fixed. But other than that, I'm making it so the player can't just run around the map freely all they want. That's going to be a very important part of keeping your game fresh and pristine and having it function right. So what I'm going to show you is you have a lot of players, that will do things like this. They'll find little cheats. That one I didn't know of. This one I wanted you to see. They'll find little ways to get around the map and trick you into, or trick them into speed running or seeing parts of the map you don't want them to see that aren't so pretty and stuff. So what you do is you go back to arcade editor. First of all, let's remove this. I don't want you to know about this. No. I guess that was from when I added the noise. See, the problem is when you add noise in this game, it will affect every block around it. Another good tip, in case you're new to it, you can press, well, I'm pressing R1, I'm using PlayStation 4, but if you add all these items, you can move all of them up at a single time. Then if you want, you could even duplicate it, add it again, give it a taller wall. So as you can see, this one does not have any invisible wall. What you want to do is you want to just take invisible wall here, just in case you don't know, you go to generic shapes, invisible, and then right there you'll have all your invisible blocks. What I'm going to do is I'm just simply going to do this. I'm going to tilt it at an angle. I'm going to not let it follow terrain. I'm going to give it its own terrain path. And then I'm going to build it up from there. And then again, what I'm going to do, just to keep the player from being able to work their way out of the map, take all of these, and all I'm going to do with these ones is just simply duplicate them, because I don't need to, extend it more than try to duplicate it when I can just duplicate it anyways, like I'm going to do. And then what you can always do, what I always recommend, is if there's a part that you want them to walk to but not jump on, you can always just do this. The only reason I'm using these big blocks is because they're what I had at the time, and they were just quick and easy to use and don't take up much more memory than just a simple wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over here. Oh, actually, real quick before I forget, I was going to show this too, but honestly I don't think there's a point if I'm just doing that one. Oh, undo that. You want to align it pretty well so it doesn't seem kind of stiff or like you're just hitting bumps. So I'm going to go all the way back and just show you one smooth motion of me showing you kind of how the game kind of functions and works and all that good stuff. So, or this part of the map anyways. Actually, while I'm at it, to show you kind of, in case you don't know, because this took me a while when I started the game too, is terrain decals is what sticks to the ground as you move it. What I'm going to add here is I'm just going to go over to, let's see, probably just the regular rocks, the pebbles, and just stack them a bunch. Just kind of make it look like you have a bunch of gravel here. It gives the effect that the gravel is spreading across rather than just sitting in one singular place, and making it seem like you just have this random gravel here, which I kind of want to see. every now and then just move it around, rotate it, make it look a little bit more fresh than the last placement. And then yeah, so I'm going to go right here and we're going to check this out.
Journey.
So yeah, that's all I got for this episode. One more quick tip I would recommend, like I was trying to show you earlier, is I do highly recommend adding like, real quick, okay, we're good. Adding like mountains. So a big thing about adding these mountains is rather than just adding a bunch of little rocks, like maybe just some of these ones or these ones, is you get rock walls. Adding rock walls and just stacking them, especially in scenery like this, all you do is you push them back a little bit, and the player can't quite tell that they're all being reused, especially if it's dark. Now if it's day and you're feeling like that's going to be a problem, don't worry. As long as you rotate it just slightly and just keep it tucking back, they can't really tell, and just here and there add a different rock wall, maybe a couple or two. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this one. Just in case you didn't get that though, I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick. All I did was I just took this giant rock wall, pushed it back, as you can tell, and then placed it again, pushed it back, placed it again, and then these ones are a little bit different, just to kind of give it more of a peak, rather than just a simple, you know, tall same, you know, then it just looks like a cliff the whole time, rather than it has a little bit of unsymmetricalness to it. And then as you can see, it turns over here and just ends, and you know, it's not like the player's going to be walking back here, as long as you make sure that you're adding those walls and you're doing them enough and right and well. As you can see, everybody has their faults here and there when they're adding these, but just keep working on it, and yeah, it'll get better. And then every now and then you see a roof like this, in case the player might be able to climb, you just want to add that and it prevents the player from climbing. And so, as you can tell, I'm far from finished yet. You know, I still have this over here, which not going to be there, but just to kind of, you know, make sure I remember and know what I'm going to do with it. Yeah, I hope you guys liked this episode, and if you did, please let me know. If you want more, let me know. If you want something else, I'm always down to do whatever you guys want if I got it. But Far Cry 5 Arcade is definitely going to be a big one for me. Maybe some Call of Duty if you want, you know, just let me know. And hope you guys have a great day, and see you.